Hi, this is Hiroki Kudo. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I'll be talking about tips and tricks about startups. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 things you should avoid when starting a startup. So let's go on with the video. So talking to a lot of people who's working on their startups, they makes mistakes, and it kind of boils down to like these 3 points. So I'm going to talk about these 3 points, so hopefully you can avoid that and increase your success rate in your business. So number 1 is what you're doing does not have a need. So this is the number 1 reason startups fail. But you're passionate about something. You want to build this software or this service, but you kind of eventually find out that people are not interested. People are kind of interested. It would be nice to have, but they won't actually pay for that. This is the number 1 reason of failure. So before you start developing software or building an organization, you want to right away check and see if this need that you have in your head actually exists. So you want to talk to people, a potential customer, asking, okay, is this something that you want? Would you pay for this? And if so, could you pay right away? Checking all this and talking to actual people, not your family or friends. We're going to say nice things to you anyway. Talk to people that you don't know, strangers, so that you can get honest feedback on what you're working on. I've seen this so many times. A lot of founders, when they think of this wonderful business idea, they think, oh, this is going to be great. They have everything in their head. They start building something. They get people involved. They have this passion around that, but they don't do the needs check. So you need to make sure that there is a need. I should not say need, but maybe I should say a pain. That there's a pain. It's strong enough that actually people will pay money and it will develop a market. So don't get obsessed with your idea or your system or whatever you're building. Make sure that you can put that away. A lot of people, when they talk to people, and the trap is that they're so obsessed that they go blind. They think this is going to work. Even if people say, hey, I'm not really interested in that, they'll say, oh, okay, maybe that's not my target segment, and they'll ignore all the signals that are alerting you. So although you're passionate, you also need to be you're cool-headed. You need to logically understand all the information that you'll be gathering and process it properly. Don't be biased. The second point is running out of cash. I talk about entrepreneurship in universities and in other opportunities, but since I come from an accounting service company startup, this is something really important that I see happen a lot of times. So even if you're making money, even if you're actually profitable, you might run out of cash. So looking at financial statements, bookkeeping, that's all good, but the most important thing about finance is to understand your cash flow. Depending on the timing that you actually receive money, cash, and actual timing that you'll be paying out, if those don't work out, even if you're profitable, you might go broke. For example, let's say you're a retail company and you buy supplies from a supplier and then you sell it to customers. You have to pay that supplier, and the customers will eventually pay. But let's say the customers are companies. You would invoice them and they will pay in 2 months or 1 month. But for suppliers, if they need the money right away, you're in this cash constraint. You might need to kind of figure out some finance to go around this. So the general rule is to collect payment, collect your income as fast as possible, and try to delay the payment as much as possible as well. If you can do that, you'll be cash rich. You want to avoid the situation that you're cash poor, that as the operation goes and goes, you actually start losing cash and you're in a very tight cash constraint. So number 2, run out of cash. So number 3, the last one, But actually, I think this is a root cause for all the problems we see in startups. It is burnout. So this is mental. Like you've tried something and you're stuck and you give up. Why you give up comes from a lot of reasons. Maybe because you have cash constraints. Maybe the team's just falling apart. Maybe the idea that you had dreamed of isn't working, or you needed to pivot into an area that you're not that interested in anymore. Or there might be some personal reasons, like your family's having issue and you just can't get that away from your head and you're just stressed. So number one, building something that nobody needs, the failure of that. Number two reason of running out of cash. This, in a sense, can be avoided. I mean, you can go through this if you have the passion and you have the willpower going forward. If you can't find need, you just need to continue like talking to customers, talking to people, and figuring out like how you should change and figuring out where that pain actually exists, which customer segment has that pain, and who's willing to pay. You can still kind of pivot and like navigate and get to your business eventually. Also for like cash, if you're kind of running out of cash, you can do a lot of things. You can cut costs, you can raise funding, you can try to ask like customers to pay up front. There's a lot of ways to kind of work around that. So it all counts like, okay, I give up. Like the third point, if you feel like you're burned out, you don't want to continue this anymore, even if you're in a very good condition, this might not work anymore. So your mental health is really important and it's sometimes ignored. So I want everybody to pay good attention to your mental health. If you're not feeling well, like try jogging, try getting more sunlight, eat healthy food and all that. I have a whole video talking about mental health for startups. So if you're interested in more detail about this topic, please watch this video. So okay, we talked about 3 things to avoid for startups. So I hope you learned something from this video. If so, hit the like button, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be producing more videos going forward. So see you next time.